Sales growth in the plant-based food sector, new research on consumer demand for sustainable travel, sustainability in the performance apparel sector, a look at Recommerce performance, and anticipated sustainability trends in cocktails and spirits. All on this week's edition of Sustainable Life 5 in 5. My take on 5 highlights from the world of sustainable living, all in under 5 minutes. Welcome to the next edition of Sustainable Life 5 in 5 here on my Sustainable Life channel. I'm Douglas Sabo, or at Green Living Doug, across the social media channels, and I want to welcome you to episode 14 in the 5 in 5 series, which summarizes 5 highlights from the world of sustainable living, curated from the week of posts on the Sustainable Living blog that you can find at www.greenlivingdoug.com. Well, we are at episode 14. You may recall episode 13 was at the very end of November. We've been on a bit of a hiatus between the UN COP28 climate summit, the holidays, and lots of other things going on, but we are back. Welcome to 2024. Happy New Year to everybody. While we were on hiatus, while we were away, the Sustainable Life blog actually turned 5 years old. We looked back at the blog over the last 5 years, realized that the blog has had over 630 posts on it around developments in the world of sustainable living, has had a chance to feature about 6,800 articles in the last 5 years, all around sustainability in apparel and food and mobility and travel and tourism and Recommerce and a variety of other topics. And nearly 2,000 brands and organizations have been featured in the Sustainable Life blog. So just want to take a moment and celebrate 5 years of the Sustainable Life blog. Again, greenlivingdoug.com if you're interested. Okay, now time for the highlights. So the Sustainable Life blog covered a number of themes this week, including food with a focus on plant-based, sustainable travel and tourism, apparel and fashion, retail, specifically the Recommerce business models, as well as we finished the week toasting on Saturday to sustainable spirits and liquor. So those are the 5 themes. I've pulled out 5 items to highlight. Not exhaustive, of course. If you have themes of your own, go ahead and put those down in the comments. But let's go ahead and start the clock. Let's see how I can do. It's been a while, so I'm going to dust off the approach here. But let's see if we can come close to 5 highlights in 5 minutes. All right, starting the clock. First, plant-based food sales growth. So a piece in Vegconomist that focused on what you might see despite the headlines of slowdowns in plant-based food. Actually, a number of companies and sectors seeing plant-based growth. The article included a feature on Sodexo, the food service company, talking about its sales growth in plant-based in 2023, and plant-based now represents about 11% of the meals sold. Also featured the CEO of Planthood, a plant-based meal kit company in the UK, talking about how they have grown 400% every year since launch. Separate from this article is another that actually talked about from Emirates Airlines, talking about a 40% increase that they have seen in demand for plant-based meals. So many headlines. Why did I choose this? Many headlines around slowdown, particularly in the retail side. But I think this is really showing specifically these 2 examples and others. Food service is really a part of the food sector to keep an eye on for plant-based growth. Okay, highlight number 2, consumer demand for sustainable travel. Here are a lot of different consumer research pieces coming out. I think 'tis the season as we hit the new year. 2 that I wanted to highlight, which is really looking at consumers and consumer demand for sustainable travel and tourism. 1, a new report from the Sustainable Hospitality Alliance, which focused on consumers in 9 markets. Not surprisingly, found that younger travelers were particularly concerned regarding sustainability and travel. Some of the interests of those travelers: sustainability certifications, the management of natural resources, social factors as well. So big focus on younger travelers prioritizing sustainability in their travel and tourism. A complementary report out from Skift, new research from Skift, this one with a millennial Gen Z focus on travel broadly, and really talked about the growing amount of those travelers who are seeking tourism operators who are adhering to environmental and social standards. So keep an eye on this research and others really around that role of the millennial and Gen Z traveler in influencing and prioritizing sustainability. Highlight number 3, Sustainable protective performance apparel. Now a slightly different topic than I've had in the past. This was a piece in Apparel Resources where it was highlighting Pulsar. It's a leading name in technical and protective performance wear, and it has launched the Pulsar Life collection. This is a collection that is environmentally responsible with high visibility garments for workers across industries. This collection was developed with the global recycled standards, certified fabrics and materials. Each garment is using fully sustainable recycled polyester. It's designed for longevity. The collection includes puffer jackets, trousers, polo shirts, parkas, shell jackets. So why am I highlighting this? Well, a lot of the focus on sustainability in apparel is about the everyday wear, more leisure wear. But an estimated 25 to 50% of workers, depending on the market, are wearing uniforms and protective gear. And so important to see sustainability not just in the usual apparel segments of the apparel sector, but in this one as well. So thank you, Pulsar, for launching that collection. Okay, highlight number 4, the state of Recommerce. Here again, 2 different pieces that I'm highlighting. One is from the Rob report, and it was focused on a recent study from Bain & Company that is saying that secondhand luxury products are now seeing about $50 billion in sales, and that the resale market in luxury products has doubled in size in 4 years and is now equal to about 12% of luxury goods sales overall. The second was from Payments Intelligence, new study out there saying that 43% of consumers purchased secondhand in 2023, and that high-income consumers are part of this trend, and they're most likely to focus on secondhand furniture, electronics, and luxury goods, as we just talked about. And they also said secondhand clothing is usually older consumers and lower income consumers. So Recommerce is going to continue to be a theme in 2024, so good to stay up on the latest research. And finally, highlight number 5, sustainable cocktail trends. This is the 5th annual Bacardi Cocktail Trends report out. One of the 5 macro trends that they highlighted, they called Notes of Nature. And this is where drink brands are going to be highlighting new ingredients and eco-innovations. The report talked about bartenders on premises who are highlighting and have top interest in zero waste ingredients and ferments, using discarded ingredients for new offerings. Also talked about where are consumers and what are they prioritizing? So the research talks about high interest in reducing single-use plastic, recyclable packaging, having brands help protect and preserve clean water, buying local, and others. So I've long discussed making sustainable living fun, engaging for consumers. What better way? Continue to do so in sustainable drinks and spirits. So with that, that is 5 minutes, I think pretty much on the dot, so maybe not so rusty after all. But I really want to thank you for rejoining after this hiatus. Those were my 5 highlights, but I would love down in the comments for you to go ahead and share what maybe you saw in the week of sustainable living that might be a good highlight. Maybe you're at a brand that launched or announced something. Please go ahead and share that again in the comments. If you like the content, as always, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Really thrilled for you to join, and I look forward to having more content on sustainable living on the Sustainable Life channel here on YouTube. I'm Douglas Sabo, or at Green Living Doug, here and across social media channels. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.